Welcome back, softies, for another episode of the Soft Knocks podcast.
Welcome to the fucking show.
So how was Father's Day, our day, for you?
Let me start with, we had this family reunion thing.
Oh, that's right. You
Right.
did text me about that.
So we were out in Clear Lake for like 3 nights. Like it was like Wednesday.
That's quite a reunion.
Yeah. You check in Wednesday, check out Saturday morning, right? And so we were up there, and this was like 36 people.
Airbnb?
34 of which stayed in the same Airbnb. So this place, and this is, it's 36 people, but that's adults and kids. Mm-hmm. So lots of little kids running around.
That's a lot of people in a house.
Yeah.
How is there enough room?
Debatable. 2 of the adults weren't going to stay at the house anyway. They stayed in a hotel nearby. But everybody else stayed in this house. And it's a pretty cool looking place. Like from the pictures, it's called the Pyramid House because it looks like a pyramid. I
saw something on
right?
Snap. I didn't know if that was like a relative's house or.
No. And also it looks kind of cool. But then the house itself, like the owner, it's a rental, doesn't exactly keep it up to high standards, right? So like, there's obvious like maintenance issues on the outside of the house. Like there was still like just like leaves and like trash, not like people like bags of trash, but like there was like an office chair just sitting out on the patio.
He's like, well, there's 36 people. Maybe they'll use this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it normally it can be more than one rental. Like it had multiple kitchens and kitchenettes. So like it was like you could have different people renting it, but that would be weird because it would still have like the same like common space kind of. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there were some of us that stayed there that had to sleep on like air mattresses. Some of the kids slept on sleeping bags on the floor.
I think I would have done a hotel.
So, but like, and just things like the beds. Like I slept on a bed for 3 nights that the bed frame didn't have like the middle cross support bar or anything. So it was kind of like a U-shaped, like it was just sagged in the middle. And it was like a full size, which half my shin hangs off on a full size. So wasn't the most comfortable sleeping arrangements, but all in all, like it was still fun. It was good people, good hangouts. I probably, drank a little too much for too many days in a row.
Please tell me you talked about our podcast nonstop.
I didn't have to bring it up. Everybody else brought it up. They're all fans.
So you went to go visit all of our fans?
Yes. It was actually, it wasn't a family reunion. It was a meet and greet.
I would have signed something to give them if you wanted.
No, I mean, like it was kind of fun. It was relaxing. Like we, the kids ran around, had a good time. The kids, Lucy and Leo, they enjoy seeing all their cousins and stuff. So that was a fun time. We sat around and drank beer and.
Did you get out on the boat?
We did rent a pontoon boat for half a day, in which was an interesting experience because I got designated the captain because I have a boat, so they think I know how to drive one.
That's what happens when you have a boat. You're the
guy. And with you got 30-some people. Pontoon boat only holds like 12, so you have to do like shifts, which was interesting. Trying to like pull this pontoon boat. I don't like my boat's not a pontoon boat. They do not move and steer it quite as easily as mine does. So like trying to maneuver that thing up to like the public dock. So that people could
That would
unload.
be my hell.
Oh, yeah. It was like the amount of like anxiety that I had for like the 15 minutes driving to that dock, like was just too much. Because I was like, God dang it. Like I kept thinking like, what if it's like super busy, right? Luckily, it wasn't. It's still early in the season and, whatever. And it was like a Friday.
Imagine doing that like at the 4th of July.
No, they'd be swimming to shore. You want off this boat? Nuts. Put a life jacket on, swim to shore. But and then trying to like put it back like at the marina where we rented it. Same sort of deal. Because like that marina, it's like, yeah, they have the rentals there, but like right across from the rentals are like people's private boats, and I'm thinking like, don't wreck into somebody's boat who's got a expensive ass boat. Because boats are expensive. Like newer boats, like people spend an incredible amount of money on boats. But it was fun. Nothing happened. It was great. Actually, I didn't personally rent it, so it's not like it was on my credit card. So
still be a little awkward.
Yeah. I hope your credit card has a high limit there, bud. So we got back Saturday, right? So I spent Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night staying up a little too late, having probably a couple too many beers, and then Saturday we get back and I'm supposed to play golf. So I go play golf Saturday afternoon and have a couple more beers, and then Father's Day is Sunday. And my usual on Father's Day is just watching the U.S. Open and having a few beers and grilling and all of that. So we did that on Sunday, and the U.S. Open just did not disappoint.
No, that was a good one.
I wasn't able to watch any of Thursday, Friday, or much of Saturday because I watched some of Saturday, Sunday morning, but I wasn't home. So, but it was pretty good golf, really. Like, I like the U.S. Open because it irritates the crap out of those pros that they trick these courses up to like go.
They still shot a decent number.
Yeah, some of them did. Yeah. Some of them did. Fun fact: I played that course last year.
My dad
not from the same tees.
It's the same my dad did I don't know, 20 plus years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went on a work trip with a bunch of sighting guys.
Those greens are no joke. They were not running as fast as they were, obviously, for the U.S. Open when I played it, but it very much is like you can think of those greens as sort of like an inverted
like a turtle
dome.
shell.
Yeah,
right?
turtle shell, like turtleback greens, and like it is cool. Like the broadcast, I thought did a pretty good job of showcasing that, like showing like here's the green, but here's like the effective size of the green, which is much smaller because if you don't hit it there, it just rolls off. But it was so firm and so fast that like
that's what she said. Sorry, go ahead.
These golfers, these pros, like the best of the best, these guys that just do this nonstop, like they've got to put it into like a 2 yard by 2 yard square to even get it to like hold the green. I'm not even talking about like having a good shot. Like some of those holes, it was like, yeah, if you don't hit it exactly here,
just to keep it on.
Yeah, just to keep it on. That's what So it was fun to watch those guys struggle.
I love watching Rory choke. I don't know. He just annoys me.
I kind of feel bad for the guy. I mean, choking's one thing, but like at one point he had I think he birdied.
It was a 2-shot lead with 5 holes, right?
Yeah, something like that. He birdied 4 out of 5 holes from like hole 8 to hole 13 or something like that. Like he had 4 birdies. He was making a charge. Bryson didn't exactly like light the world on fire on Sunday.
No, it wasn't he about even?
Yeah,
on the day.
And it might have been 1 over. Yeah. He was either even or maybe 1 over. But Rory just, and the way he lost it, those missed putts, those 2 short ones, and I guess like some of the guys have been saying that like, well, I think it was the last one. It might have been on 18, or maybe it was 16. One of them was like there was a bunch of break in that tiny putt, and the greens are so fast that you can't just like a lot of these guys will just not even. They'll just take the break out and they'll just hit it really hard at the back of the cup.
Yeah.
But if you do that with that putt, like you will just miss it and go off the green from 2.5 feet. So it's a terrible way to lose the Open. I don't think he did himself any favors with how he acted afterwards.
Just leaving.
I don't care how like heartbroken you are or distraught you are. The fact that like he waited around to see if Bryson made the putt, and then like before Bryson got done with his fist pump, he's peeling out of the.
I love the tweet. Like he threw his clubs in the Lexus that was rented for the tournament and peeled out.
Yeah, didn't talk to the media or anything, and for a guy that was supposed to be the face of golf with all this live stuff and talking about the type of people that golfers are and the PGA and stuff, to be that
I just
much of a child.
feel like he's a bitch. I just don't like the guy.
Look,
I'm just jealous, probably. But.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say how I would act in that scenario because I'd never be good enough to be in that position.
I think you'd at least shake the guy's hand, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, perfect example is that the last major, Bryson loses by 1 to Xander.
Yeah,
shakes the guy's hand. Who knows what they said, but basically, did the sportsman-like thing, right? And in this one, it's Rory can't be bothered to do that,
Bryson's just had this glow up the last 6 months.
Know.
I feel like
whoever his PR firm is,
are they setting these things up?
I don't know. I mean,
he used to be kind of
he's always been
angry
sort of
towards the
tool,
fans.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he's let all of them touch the cup. Or
someone must have gotten his ear about it because, yeah, he used to be this guy that would yell at cameramen for videotaping him.
Yeah.
Or just a super annoying guy, kind of nerdy, and he still is.
He's still nerdy, but yeah.
But he's really taken to the fans, and he does YouTube stuff now. He does his own little series on YouTube.
Yeah, he's doing well with that.
PGA guys can't do that. They're actually not. I don't think they're allowed to do their own media content like that. So he's only allowed to do that because of Live. But yeah, he's made quite the comeback.
Yeah, I was happy for him. That's good.
And I much prefer him, the golfer he is now. He's always been one who, when it comes to the equipment or whatever it is he's doing, he's got some scientific thing for it, and he still says some stuff which is just nutty. But
heard he soaks his balls.
Yep, salty balls.
Salty balls. That was weird. I've never heard.
You
of
understand?
Such a...
Do you know why he
did?
does
So
that?
he told some scientific reason. They're not round.
This is all yes, theoretically. So a golf ball, it's like a core, and then some manufacturing process puts this cover on it, right? And if that core isn't exactly in the center of the golf ball, when it spins, being off center will affect the spin, which can change the curvature of the golf ball. I mean, that is physics. That is probably true. Now, these golf ball manufacturers, the big ones, Titleist, Callaway, TaylorMade, these guys have spent a incredible amount of money to make sure that doesn't happen. Titleist being the very best of the bunch. In order to make sure that he knows exactly which way, if there's any that are too off center, or he knows exactly which way rolls correctly, he puts salt in water so that the ball will float better. And then he basically, you kind of tap it a little bit in the water, and it whatever end comes up top, you mark it with a marker, and then you do it again. And if that marker keeps coming up in the same spot, you know that the core is off center. And
are you going to start soaking your balls?
No, I can't afford to just be throwing away golf balls that aren't to the trees. The other thing he does, so get this one, he thinks that if you don't line a golf ball up correctly on a putt, so that the putter face, the putter face is perfectly flat, doesn't strike it correctly on the dimples, that a dimple can knock it offline.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with him.
I guess to each your own, I guess, if that's your thing. But I think that one's a bit much. Him today golfing is not just the I'm a weightlifter who can swing a golf club.
He's trimmed down
quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so he's done a pretty good job of kind of reining that back a little bit. I bet he was on roids. I wouldn't doubt if he had done some at some point.
Yeah, so allegedly. It was a good tournament though.
No, it was a good watch. We were able to sit down here and watch it on the big screen most of the afternoon. We grilled, but we didn't do anything too crazy. We did beer can chicken.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Those are very easy to do. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good time. What about you? What did you guys do for Father's Day?
We went to lunch at Johnny's, and it was the worst service I've ever had in my life.
Johnny's at
Steakhouse, a nice restaurant, just brutal. The kids were falling apart. I don't blame them. My dad Frank finally had to get up and walk over and tell the waitress pretty much that she sucks and that it was bad. I didn't blame him because I was getting annoyed. Oh, it took about 45 minutes just to bring like a Pepsi's for.
Oh no!
And it wasn't all the waitress. Obviously, the kitchen was messed up, and the food wasn't that great anyway. It was just a hellish experience. And it led Gianna to saying that this is almost as bad as Mother's Day. So I guess we got to win on that. I think Father's Day and Mother's Day are her least favorite holidays. It got a little better, though. We went back to my parents and swam for a couple hours.
Oh,
and other than that, I watched the end of that tournament. Overall, decent day. I did stay up the night before a little too late. Like, we went to that new bar, the Regal Beagle, here in Waukee.
never heard of it.
It's where Pots and Shots used to be.
Oh, no wonder that place went out of business.
This place is cool. You'll
Is
like it.
it?
We need to go there. The
All right.
friendly owners, affordable drinks, very close to our home.
Yes.
It was fun. It was really fun. But I stayed up a little too late that night, and so I was pretty tired.
I'm feeling my age today and yesterday, really. Like I said, I played golf on Saturday, and I don't know if it was a mixture. It's probably a mixture of like sleeping on a terrible bed for 3 nights, playing golf, kind of being run down, you know. But like
Any 3-day trip, you're gonna feel a little run down.
I have this issue with like my, what do you call it, like your sciatic nerve or whatever.
Oh, it's weird you mentioned that. I just did something to mine.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
What it does is it like causes me to have a bunch of hip pain.
Yeah.
But usually I can tell very easily that it's acting up. I just go to the chiropractor and get it fixed. And then I don't know what the deal was, but I played golf Saturday and it wasn't too bad. And then I have my normal golf league on Tuesdays, and it felt a little rough out of that one. And then I played golf yesterday, so Wednesday, and it completely, like, I mean, I don't know. I thought I felt like I broke a hip. To not even be 40 yet, and like it's just like the hip just feels just insane. Like,
sorry, Mia, out of commission tonight.
Yeah. I had to go to the chiropractor today. He's like, "What seems to be bothering you?" And I'm like, "Oh God, the hip."
Mine was like kind of like a shooting down the thigh.
Yeah, it's like the whole side of my leg,
Yeah.
but it's like out of whack, and then the golf swing has like strained whatever like that abductor is off the side of your leg. Yeah, so it's a little rough. But so playing golf Wednesday with some buddies, and we always, like, this group likes to gamble a little bit when we golf, and we don't. I mean,
Oh, I know you don't do much.
it's not a lot because
Little
like some of these
quarter
games like they get a little they can get a little expensive if it's one-sided. We were playing this game called Sixes, but it's just really it's so that for a foursome you pair up 2v2, but you switch pairs every six holes. That way you each get to play with everybody. We were playing like $2 a point, and then there's like presses and rolls and whatever. So, but we're going along. A lot of trash talk, you know, a little bit of money going back and forth, not a ton. And so one of my buddies, not having a great day off the tee, like just hooking everything all day. He's got 2 drivers with him, right?
In case one's not working.
He just can't can't make a decision, and they're both not exactly going well. And then I think it was like the 12th or 13th hole, and again, like, we're still trash talking, you know, and like a couple of us get up there and pipe drives down the middle, and again, just a nasty hook, like looks like it's going out of play, and just turns over and just slams the club down on the ground and yells some obscenity. And like, there's a guy just to the right, like a grounds crew guy that's like working on a sprinkler system or something, and like he just kind of looks over, and then this guy, the guy who slams the club down, yells something, and then without fail, just like a major leaguer with a wood bat, snaps that driver right over his knee. It was one of the like jaw-dropping coolest things. It was like there was like a pink mist that came from that shaft as it just obliterated. And I think his quote was,
down to one driver.
I think his quote was, "Well, solve the driver controversy." Got a little quiet there.
Oh, that's
for
hilarious.
A
minute. The best is just seeing people flip out.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we would have had it on tape. It could have been on
Zaire Golf or
whatever. Yeah. But yeah, we kept playing, and like my hip by the end of it, like it was pretty hard to play and whatnot. But yeah, it was fun though. But it was an interesting little fun story there. I don't get to see that very often. Golf clubs are too expensive to break, and even just the shaft, even though you can replace that, it's probably not a cheap fix.
What is the grounds crew guy thinking?
It's like, oh great,
yeah.
Another guy who thinks he's great at golf getting upset when he hits one a little left. Definitely put a stop to the shit talking for at least a hole.
Things got serious.
Yeah. Do you see that the Big 12 is looking at selling their naming rights to the conference, one, and they're also looking into private equity investments?
So I did not see any of this.
I read a couple articles on it because it was interesting, and I guess like someone was like, I'm surprised that no one has sold the naming rights to a conference yet. Like that would make a lot of sense. So there's talk like it could become, instead of the Big 12, it would be maybe like the All-State 12 conference.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm sorry, college football is just getting ruined.
Just sounds gross, I know. But it is a little surprising, especially some of the smaller conferences, right? Like, obviously the SEC and the Big Ten don't have any problems because like they're getting all that TV
Pfizer
money.
and Moderna conference coming.
Yeah, that'll be the Pac-12. That's a California conference thing to do. But like the Mountain West and like some of those smaller ones, it's a little surprising they haven't sold some of those naming rights.
That'll probably happen, man.
All the bowl games, all the football fields and stuff, and what would be a great conference name for like the Big 12?
I'm trying to think of.
A great one for the Pac-12 would be like if like Trojan.
Yeah. I was
trying to
think of something sexual. Yeah. Trojan condom.
The Big 12 could be
fucking Boeing. They just blow up. They're already blowing up these conferences.
Big 12 could be like Anheuser-Busch. You could get like Busch Light, Busch Light 12.
Somebody will come up with something creative here. I'm surprised like Barstool wouldn't buy one. They seem to do that.
I am surprised that like this hasn't been vetted out like before. Like the private equity thing seems a little weird, but like you get a bunch of money from private investment and you're selling off a piece of
the Soft Knocks conference.
I don't think we've got that kind of cash
yet.
Ever. Speaking of podcast hosts doing great things, JJ Redick, coach of the Lakers,
it's
co-host of LeBron James.
So is he going to keep the podcast going with his player now? Like, it's just kind of weird.
That's a good question.
And what's going to happen when LeBron inevitably gets him fired, like he does every other coach?
I don't know, because I'm pretty sure that LeBron is just going to tell him what to do.
It's pretty much Coach LeBron, I think.
Yeah. In fact, I can imagine that LeBron's just going to have like a mic and like an earpiece in JJ's
And the great thing is when things go bad, he can just...
Wasn't me.
Yeah, it's Coach Redick.
That's a good question, though. I imagine they'd have to stop podcasting.
I don't know. Nothing's normal about LeBron James. I can't stand that guy. I don't want to piss him off too much. He is welcome to come on our show, but
someday we'll get a guest that's famous.
We had a dentist. That was pretty cool.
Well, I'm just saying that like someday like GW will be on the podcast. He's pretty famous.
I told him I hung out with him last Friday.
Some of those pictures were great.
His stories are just out of control.
We could do an entire series of episodes called like the GW Files, where it's just him.
We don't talk.
Yeah, all we do is kind of just like egg him on a little bit, but it's just him reciting his memoirs.
Yeah.
That's probably like how we'll get famous. It won't have anything to do with all the episodes we've done with us talking. It will be him.
Use him as a stepping stone.
Yes.
No, but I told him about the draft. He's got it in his little calendar.
Do you think he has like a
I didn't realize
iPhone calendar, or do you think it's like a physical calendar? Like,
No,
did he get a pocketbook out?
I think it's just all in his head. He doesn't forget anything.
Oh.
And he'll remember it because it's Jeff's birthday. I forgot that, so Jeff will be bitching about it.
I thought we've already told him. Like, haven't you already told him?
He'll still bitch about it. That's all right. What are you guys doing on the 4th? Are you free? Are you taking the boat?
What we're doing. No, I'm not. I didn't take that
so.
boat out on the lake on 4th of July weekend is just asking for trouble.
Yeah, well, we are having that pool get together again.
Did you figure out which day?
We are doing the actual 4th, I think, yeah. That way, if bad weather, we can push it back. Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably come over.
Yeah.
Like, we don't do a ton of stuff on the 4th, the actual 4th, usually, because there's usually just not crazy amounts of stuff going on. And we're so close to the park where Waukee puts all the stuff on that we usually just hang out at home. And we've gone up to the parade and stuff, but that's...
I think we're still doing that.
Yeah,
that
it doesn't... Not a whole lot. And then last year, we did the parade, and it was so freaking hot out.
It was.
And then for like the rest of the day, we just like sat around at home because it was like stupid hot out, and so the kids didn't even want to go outside, and like we just sat inside. And then eventually we got around and went up there for fireworks and stuff. But
this should be a fun day if the weather behaves. We'll probably do that and then come back for neighborhood fireworks or something. I don't know. It'd be a long day.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the neighborhood fireworks.
Yeah.
They go kind of nuts over here.
Yeah, the dogs hate it.
Yes, the dogs. I don't think Clark really cares, but Addie gets all freaked out. They're pretty good about cutting it off at 11 when the law says they're supposed to, so that's all right. And the kids are older now. Like, I don't care too much, but when they were little kids, like infants, God, I hated that.
Yeah.
I could read through some of these hypothetical situation things.
Oh yeah, let's do one of those. That was fun. That got talked about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Some of them are stupid, so let me see if I can find one here. You make $10 million per year, but you have to have a job that typically pays minimum wage, or you don't get the money. What job would you pick? See, my problem with this one would be that, like $10 million a year, that's a lot of freaking money, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I would have to be a minimum wage job. Like, there's nothing in here. It doesn't have any rules about, like, how much you have to work. I would have to do something where, like, I'm not working
McDonald's
40 hours or 60 hours a week, not being able to pick when I have vacation time. Like, what good's $10 million if you can't spend it?
Depends on, like, what jobs.
Yeah, like, that's the question. Like, what job would you pick? What would you do?
Lawn care? Is that?
Yeah, maybe. Gonna be outside?
Yeah.
Pool boy.
Pool boy.
Yeah.
Gonna bang some hot old bitches.
Like, can I cheat the system and say, like, I'm going to start my own company and I'm only going to make minimum wage?
Yeah.
right? So like you could start like a pool boy, like a pool care company, right? And like get like one client. Like
You could.
Can I just
Don't have to charge them much of anything.
Can I have your parents?
Yeah.
Can I just be your parents' pool boy? Like 1 hour a week for
We would, yeah.
$15. 1 hour a day. I just come over and hang out with your parents.
Yeah, you just drink by the pool.
I would have to do something like that. Like the thought of, I know this is where it sounds terrible, right? Like this $10 million, like, yeah, like I could work and the rest of my family would never have to work a day in their life. But I would, like, if it was like, yeah, I have to work at McDonald's for 50 hours a week.
No. Dealing with all that. I don't.
You know what that says about that minimum wage for a McDonald's worker, though, is that like I don't think it's worth $10 million a year. But they're making like 23 grand a year.
Yeah, that would be just a place I would not want to ever.
No, I mean, no offense to them. I don't even eat there, so
No.
like
I doubt any are listening to this. So you don't need to, you don't need to say no offense. We just lost. We didn't know our one listener was a McDonald's manager.
Ronald left. Grimace is still here though. Oh. But yeah, like you get some of the responses in these things are like just like making fun of, like, this is a terrible question because what a great deal. Like I just had to work some minimum wage job. Like someone here is like, I would just go work security at some like low key place that I don't have to do shit all day.
I thought about doing that anyway. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Do you get a gun? I don't.
Taser, mace.
My luck would be like a Paul Blart situation where there's actual people trying to break in.
You have to save them all.
Yeah. We got a Stallone classic to break down.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger. What was it, 1990?
Mid-90s. I didn't write that down. 96 sounds right.
I think. 93, I'm sorry. 93. So what'd you think? I'll let you start.
So I remember when this movie came out. Like I remember it being in like Blockbuster or Family Video as an option to rent back then. I don't know that I ever watched it all the way through. I feel like it was a movie that I started and then back then got bored with. You know, I don't know. Like as a young kid, I don't know that I would have watched this whole thing, but it was a really good movie. It didn't have as much like gratuitous action that you feel like it's purposely trying to be a joke, right? Like so, like The Substitute. After watching that movie, like you feel like, okay, they knew what they were doing.
The Substitute was made for what we do here.
They were doing that on purpose.
Pick apart and make fun of.
That had to be a joke, right? This, like, it felt like they were trying to make an actual movie.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was trying to find things to make fun of it, and now there's some corny lines. Don't get me wrong. We'll go over them.
Yeah, there's plenty.
But yeah, they tried to make a kind of a serious movie. Sly was not his normal badass. I mean, he was a badass, but he, you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's still like
all of his other movies. He just kicks the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, this time he was just kicking the shit out of mountains.
Yeah, and the mountain was kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I thought we were onto something when the opening scene was just him hanging by one hand.
I was thinking about that.
A giant cliff.
like
for no apparent reason. I don't.
Are there people like just climbing shit with no fucking?
I was gonna say he didn't even have a harness, did he?
Yeah, like my understanding is that like there's some people that climb some stuff like without the gear. It's like, you know, they're just doing it like on their own. Yeah. But like I don't know that they're doing it like, you know, off the side of a sheer cliff, like with nothing. Like I mean, you're dead. There's no even chance. No. You fall, you're dead.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and then this movie quickly starts showing itself as like trying to be the king of one-liners.
Yeah,
right. Like he is. Like the very beginning, you're trying to go rescue that his buddy and his buddy's girlfriend, and you're right. He's like hanging there by like one hand, and he's like, "Oh, just hanging out."
And then his girlfriend in the plane's like, or the copter's like, "I recognize that butt," as he's just swinging there. Would you be that casual talk hanging from a cliff? I don't know. Maybe you would if you're used to it.
Well, no, I wouldn't be hanging from the side of a cliff. I'd be fucking dead. Give me like just like 1 second, and my grip strength.
Oh,
is
the grip
not-
strength, I'd be done. I can't
Yeah.
hang from one arm. No way.
especially my left arm.
Your right my right gets a lot of work. I might be able to hang on for a bit. But when he rescued the friend, first of all, I love how he just openly was hitting on the girlfriend right off the bat, pretty much. The guy's girlfriend. Like, I believe they even kissed when she was
Yeah.
getting rescued. Like, it's kind of bizarre. I mean, I do that with Mia, but I didn't.
Towards the end, I was thinking like there could be some really weird like fan fiction conspiracy going on here. Like, did she actually fall,
Or did he?
or did he let her go on purpose because
He didn't.
She was going to tell her boyfriend that they were seeing each other.
Could be. Or he did. He loved her so much he didn't want him to have her.
Sorry, if I can't have
like-
you, no one can.
It's like, sorry, I forgot to buckle this up, even though I do it all the time.
Yeah, and this rescue, like, all right. So the one guy is some sort of, equally as good of a climber as Sly, right? Mm-hmm. But he's got a bum knee from a hot tub accident, evidently, which he told his girlfriend was a war injury from Nam. So this guy is a pro, right? He climbs up there with his girlfriend who
Has never done it.
turns out she's like afraid of heights, looks like. Mm-hmm. And they're on like this tiny little pinpoint cliff and they have to get rescued by a chopper. She's afraid of heights. This is insane. This is no way that they get that far up there without being like a professional at the stuff.
Yeah. How would she? Like, he would have to carry her ass up there. There's just
Maybe
no
he
way.
did. I mean, he's kind of buff too, I guess. Yeah. And then it's like too windy for the helicopter to just like lower the thing down and like bring them up. Mm-hmm. So the better option is that they park it on a different like point,
Very unstable or unsteady,
and they just
uneven.
build a fucking zip line
Yeah.
to shuttle these people over. I mean, I guess it's impressive.
And you know what I put together for the first time is, did you ever see Ace Ventura When Nature Calls?
Yeah, they redid the scene with the raccoon.
When I saw Ace, I didn't even realize. It's the same thing. I didn't.
Yeah, they did a spoof on it.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
It's a raccoon.
It was with the coon.
Like, so they're doing this rescue, right? And he goes over there just fine. And the newbie girlfriend, who is not a pro, evidently has the shittiest, like, plastic clip on her thing. And that one clip causes the whole rescue to unravel. Like, how do they not have, like, some sort of harness that's like a backup that just clips into the wire? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe not plastic, like something metal.
American steel?
Yeah.
I don't like.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that clip.
I mean,
either.
I get it, right? To make the movie, the chick has to die, but it still seems a little implausible that they didn't have like a secondary sort of contraption as a safety device,
And I thought the guy blaming Stallone or Gabe, which, by the way, he does not look like a Gabe. He should never have been a Gabe in any movie. But blaming him for the girlfriend dying was a little weird. It's like that clip was going to fall. What else is he supposed to do?
I don't know.
So yeah, that was an emotional opening scene.
And it just cuts like 8 months forward.
And he just left everyone.
Yeah.
To go to Denver or something.
Yeah. I love how he gets back, right? And he's been gone for 8, 9 months, whatever it is. He's driving down some mountain road, and two stoners at a gas station see him, and just like chase him. Oh, there's Gabe, and chase him down. And they're just like driving on a mountain road side by side, like talking. Sly and the stoner are just like talking to each other while they're driving. I've been on some mountain
casual
roads
type.
like that. No way. Someone dies there. Another car's come through. Like they're too windy. That doesn't happen.
But they were stoners. So daredevils.
They didn't care.
No. By the way, they were stereotypical.
Yes. Total like ski bum stoner.
They looked like probably what David did 10 years ago. The long hair.
Oh man.
But they, I can't remember their name now. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either of those characters.
I keep wanting to say Bert and Ernie, but I don't think that was it.
Would have been funnier if it was.
You think they're going to be a consistent part of the movie, but they're really not. They do come back a little bit later.
They do kind of show up later, but it is one of those things where they don't...
It was just very random.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they needed them in it, but...
I love how, like, the heist involves the Treasury. Like, the Treasury never gets to play any cool part in a movie, right?
Yeah. Travers, was that the guy?
Yeah.
The bad guy?
Travers.
Yeah.
So the Treasury, evidently back in the 90s, big international business deals were still done in cash as opposed to some sort of electronic transfer. And
so they're literally carrying giant bags of cash.
Giant briefcases of $1,000 bills, which I should have done some more research to see if that was actually a real thing or if it was just for the movie. But yeah, so $100 million in $1,000 bills.
Yeah.
Traveling by plane, and some FBI agent is supposedly just catching a ride, getting transferred. So he's on the plane with them.
Yeah.
And the FBI agent sees that they're being followed by some jet and catches on that they're going to be hijacked or whatever. And what does he pull out of his
this was on my list.
A fucking Uzi.
Like, where was he concealing that thing?
Yeah, like the most realistic thing is if it was just a handgun.
It reminds me of in The Mask when Jim Carrey pulled out that gun from his fucking suit coat that was like comically large.
It's like, why do you need this?
Well, he needed it. It didn't.
You're on an airplane. Like, it's limited space. Like, maybe like a normal handgun would be better, or at worst, like a shotgun.
He went to the bureau, was like, "Can I carry this instead, please?"
He pulls out one of those like chain guns from the Predator.
Oh yeah, I know. That was in my notes. I'm like, where did that gun come from?
And then like, all right. So then Agent Travers like, convinces the other two agents like to, they hold this guy at gunpoint, and then he shoots everybody.
Yeah.
And then
Real
so there's
bad
all
guy.
of this like noise going off, gunfire going off, and like the co-pilot's like, what the fuck is that? And the pilot pulls out a gun, and guess what? It's got a fucking silencer on it.
Again, where was he concealing this?
And why do you need the silencer? Like, who's hearing you up there? There's already been a lot of gunfire.
It's very true.
So then you figure out that Travers and this guy, the pilot, are in on it together, whatever. You see this, they do this, this jet comes over, like a private jet comes over, and like they're going to, like the movie loves the zip line. Mm-hmm. They then figure out a zip line from plane to plane where they're going to like slide a Travers down and then these briefcases of cash.
If any plan involves a zip line, I'm out.
Have you ever gone ziplining?
No.
I have.
Have you done it between airplanes?
No.
Or on a mountain?
It was on a volcano in Costa Rica. No. But anyway, so he gets down there, and then the pilot's supposed to like shove these things down the zip line, and then of course the FBI agent's still alive.
Yeah, Uzi guy. He doesn't go down easy if you're carrying that.
Yeah, and Uzi guy just gets his Uzi out again, and just like
he kills
the pilot.
The pilot, yeah.
And then he is like stumbling. He's holding the gun like one-handed because he can barely move, and he inflicts so much damage on the other jet. Like mid-air, he's firing an Uzi, and
that's why he carried that gun.
I guess, man. The accuracy showed with that, like just pure expert.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually, it was a pretty cool scene, right? Like he takes down a jet with an Uzi from another jet, which then blows up.
He stopped the heist, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucked those guys' world up.
None of the rest of the movie would have happened.
Yes.
Like it did.
If he had just stayed dead, 25-minute movie.
Yeah. John Lithgow goes to some beach with
that's the rest of the movie.
With $1,000 bills.
He's just down in Mexico. He's just using $1,000 bills.
Cocaine and hookers. That leads us to Lithgow. I didn't remember that he was in this, and he is one of the best bad guys.
Underrated actor in general.
In general, but as a bad guy, he is really good. I always think of Dexter
He just looks like a bad guy.
He does, and was he born looking 60 years old?
Well, all right. So one of my favorite movies that has Lithgow in it,
Footloose.
No, also a bad guy in that one. No,
and also still looks 60 years old.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And he wasn't a bad guy in that one, but that was so long ago, and he looks old and everything,
and sounds the same, and yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he did. He was great in that role.
Yeah, just a piece of shit, heartless dude. So then, I'm trying to think what happens. They get
the plane goes down.
The plane goes
right?
down, obviously.
And here's like one point where they're going to take some liberties because it is a movie, right? But the fact that they're able to set a plane down in the mountains, that doesn't happen. Now it's supposed to take place in the Rockies, right? So there isn't a lot of spots where you're going to get some flat ground to slowly put down a plane. So that was a little much, I think. And realistically, the plane just explodes and
they would have all looked like Kobe Bryant. Oh, too soon.
I mean, the more realistic movie is that the plane crashes, blows up, and those two stoners find a briefcase with tens of millions of dollars, and then the rest of the movie is just like some Cheech and Chong movie.
So they find a radio, right? And after they're crashed, they radio into Stallone yet.
Yeah, what do they say? Like Lithgow's like, have you found a channel yet or something? They looking for a channel, and they find one, which I don't know that's how radios work.
No, I'm just assuming it does. That's how it works.
They radio in to someone, and they fake a distress call to the Rocky Mountain Rescue or something like that, where Sly's old buddy is working.
Yeah, the one who was stranded. And by the way, the old guy in it, Frank, that guy sucked.
He sure as shit wasn't a good artist.
No, good God, that was terrible.
Trying to paint a picture on looked like a glass
of a banana eating a monkey instead of a monkey eating a banana. Yeah, Frank was just a waste of airspace. I mean, anyway, they send what's the other guy's name? We should have Tucker or something.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
So he's the one that goes in response to the distress.
Yeah, like on his own.
On his own. Well, she tries to get Stallone to go, but he's too PTSD from dropping the girl. But then the guy gets there, and Stallone's there already. Like,
yeah, Stallone must be like super quick at this.
Way better. Like, he wasn't gonna go. This other guy got a head start on him, and he meets him there and beats him there.
I didn't even notice that. That's so true.
He was just sitting there waiting for him.
Just hanging by one hand.
And the guy's like, what are you doing here?
Just hanging out.
Oh. And then they get... That friend still holds him responsible for...
Yeah.
Which I think was a little much. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, they weren't married. It was just his girlfriend.
Just his girlfriend. And, like, you took someone who can't climb up there.
Yeah, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
You're projecting right now.
He tried saving the bitch. What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
He risked his own life.
You're the one who had her rigged up with that faulty plastic clip. Yeah. I mean, those clips looked like they were off of a JanSport backpack.
Yeah. Dollar store. And so I'm trying to think how they run into the guys, right?
They find the guys... And they figure out that it's a fake call, right? Like, they got guns, and, there's Lithgow. He's obviously a bad guy. And
you're just looking at him like you knew that this is... If you see that face, you're fucked.
And then the treasury agent has got some, weird tracking device that's got, a 3D-looking image of the outlines of a mountain, and then it's got the dots where these things are. And luckily enough,
it looked like
two expert climbers will know where these things are.
It looked like a PS4 virtual reality headset.
I think you're giving it a little too much credit. It looked like a PS1.
PS1 maybe. Yeah, that thing I couldn't figure out. So evidently that thing tracked all these suitcases.
Yeah, evidently they had some sort of signal. And then they get to the first one, and they tie a rope around Sly's ankle, take his coat, which
why'd they take the coat?
presumably so he'd come back because you need a coat.
I guess, yeah.
That was another thing I sort of noticed is that, all right, these guys were they were planning to have all this money. They had their jet. They were obviously not planning on being in the mountains. I'm guessing they were going to go some country somewhere where it's warm, right?
Yeah.
How were they dressed appropriately for a slight sidetrack mission in the mountains?
Just in case an FBI agent with an Uzi shot you down.
I guess. Anyway, so they strip Sly of his coat, and he goes climbing up this mountain to get this this case, right? And his buddy, like, you know, yells at him like, "They're gonna kill you when you come back down." And so like these two guys are trying to pull on this rope, which even how great Sly is, like, would not be able to hold up. Two guys would rip that guy off the side of that mountain. There would be no question. But somehow he fends them off.
Two average Joes like us, I think, could.
Yeah.
I mean,
one average Joe could, I think. You're talking about the side of a cliff.
And then he had some instrument to
I think it was his
rope.
I think it was the things you attach to your shoes with the spikes.
Okay.
But these guys just start like shooting up there. And like they have like a grenade launcher. Mm-hmm. Like, have these guys never been in the mountains? They never heard of an avalanche? Sure enough, there comes, you know,
I'm going to be honest with you there. If I had a grenade launcher, I'd just want to shoot it.
Again, I just don't know why they have this stuff.
They're international criminals. I assume they all do.
Do you think Lithgow made them like submit videos of their accomplishments as mercenaries?
Yeah, like in The Substitute?
Yes. Oh, but just quite a bit.
I kind of want to start a business and hire them just to see their work.
But yeah, like it continues down the same sort of plot line here, where so then like they think Sly's dead, mm-hmm. and his buddy is able to drop like a snippet to the what do you call them, the
Rangers,
rest of the rescue crew, the Rangers whatever,
yeah,
right?
The lady
about
and the old man Frank,
yeah, where Sly might get to, mm-hmm. And so he finds a place to get shelter, even though he's in a t-shirt on the top of the mountain.
It's very cold.
Yes, storm going on. She like breaks the glass of some like it's like a museum.
Yes,
and gets him some sweater from 100 years ago, and that's supposed to keep him warm the rest of the episode.
The other thing, I believe right before that, Stallone literally started punching that super security box of briefcase, and which is not supposed to be easy to open. Yeah. And it just opened after he hit it like four times.
Oh, yeah. He's up there trying to get the money, right? And he just beats a briefcase into submission.
It finally just tapped and opened up.
Yeah, like to get the other ones open, like the treasury agent has got like 2 different key cards.
He has like
electronic
50,000 codes to like enter, and Stallone just punches it until it breaks.
Like, fuck your codes.
And so he sees that there is a large sum of money in there.
I used to be a professional boxer.
Yeah, seen my other movies.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, Rambo would have killed these guys in the first 15 minutes. Story over.
Oh. Yes, that is so true.
Then we get, so he meets up with his girlfriend again, and they take cover. And I thought of you during this scene when they're desperately trying to keep warm. They use the money as kindling. I'm like, Jason would never fucking do that.
Another great one-liner here.
Yeah.
Cost a fortune to heat this place.
That was pretty good.
It's exactly what I would have said, too. That's like the ultimate, like, dad joke, even though not a dad in that scene. But yes, that was great.
Didn't they plant the tracker somewhere else to lead those guys off of them?
Yeah, I think so.
And in that tracker, they built a snowman around it. Do you remember that?
No.
The tracker was. I
must have missed it.
They took time to like build a snowman to put the tracker in. It was like, would you really do that?
Maybe as a giant fuck you to the mercenaries.
But yeah, I was just thinking, like, maybe I'd rather freeze than burn all this money. I don't know.
Yeah. Actually, a pretty good plot. Like, there's just...
It was. A little longer movie than I thought. I thought it'd be like it was about 2 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, just shy.
Just shy of it. Yeah, not a lot happens then after that for a while. They're just on the chase. By the way, the black guy in it was a corny one-line machine.
Yeah.
Just a ruthless killer.
Yeah. We get to a spot where we see the stoners again.
That's right. Yes, they come back.
They spent the night in a tent up there because a storm hit. Then it's like the morning and they're coming down and they run into this.
Weren't they like,
people.
We should have watched the Weather Channel?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be home? Rather be home smoking, watching MTV or something like?
Yeah. What do you say? Like, maybe when you're watching MTV, you should flip over to the Weather Channel every once in a while. Wouldn't get stuck up here being in tent city. But these guys walk in on all the bad guys, right? And it ends up with them getting one of them getting shot and the other one running, and he while he's running gets his parachute out of his bag, puts it on, clips it on, and then jumps off of a side of a cliff before they can catch him. And then when he hits the ground, he gets stuck up in a tree. And I was watching this and they eventually find him, right? And he's hung up in this tree, and there's quote unquote wolves all around him. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure those were just huskies.
Yeah,
they're just licking him and hoping he throws a ball.
They didn't have the budget to bring.
They didn't
wolves.
have the budget. They burnt a lot of money in this budget. They didn't have the budget for real wolves.
Oh. And I guess that old man Frank does show up to save that kid, I believe. If I remember right. He scares the wolves away with...
Yeah. We get to this movie has what is, I don't know, top 3 favorite death scenes of any movie I've ever seen.
The black guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that
so
was
the crazy
sweet.
black guy is fighting Stallone.
Not fighting, beating the fuck out of him.
In a cave.
Yeah.
And Stallone grabs him in his dick, lifts him up, and shoulder presses him onto a cave stalagmite.
Did you look up that word?
No. Mia...
Because I was just going to call it a piece of rock. I had no idea what the fuck.
Just fucking shoulder presses this guy into a stalagmite. And it is the greatest thing I have ever seen.
Stalagmite. That's pretty good. Okay.
Oh, man.
No, I did have that written down without that word, though. I had no idea what that was.
Mia enjoys going to caves, right? Yeah. So we'll go to Arizona. We've done them in Missouri, and we go in these caves, right? Cave tours. We did one in Ireland, and that's what they're called. They're called stalagmites. That's the only reason I knew what that was.
But does she like to sit on stalagmites?
You can't touch stalagmites. It's against the rules.
You say, "Hey, Mia, I got a stalagmite in my pants." It might kill you.
Come up to my man cave and see my stalagmite.
I'll shoulder press her through it next time.
But what a way to kill somebody! You just shoulder press them onto an object above you.
That was very creative. I didn't see it commy.
Yes, I did.
And the fact that he grabbed his dick. How big's Sly's hand? So he grabbed that guy's dick. Oh, my God. So I feel like once you got that guy out of the way, he was the scariest fucker.
Oh, yep. It continues on. It's just crazy the amount of...
Don't they... Another thing they just happen to have is C4.
Yes. Oh, these guys are traveling with all kinds of crazy...
I mean, do you ever leave home without your C4?
No, but I always overpack.
So they think they kill him again by dropping this C4 into that cave where he killed the man on the stalagmite.
Yep.
Of course.
And you know how they escape that, right? Again, they've decided to rappel off the face of a mountain.
Yeah.
And they're swinging this rope as you can see it cutting, right? They keep cutting back to the rope.
The 60-year-old rope.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's going around and around and it swings and they catch over there and then they recreate essentially the opening scene where he's hanging on to his girlfriend.
But this time
he saves her.
Yeah, this time.
Redemption.
All come for full circle. And then he gets trapped. He gets out of the C4 mess. I can't remember which bad guy comes up. Says, which leads to another great line. Where's the money? He says, I burned it. Never could save money. As a gun is pointed at his head. Like, would you think of these quips?
I mean, they tried really hard to be like a king of one-liners.
They did.
Another great scene. They're running from these guys, you know, and they go running across that bridge.
Yeah.
And he hits that tripwire.
More C4, right?
Yeah. And all I could think is Rambo would never.
No, that was a rookie mistake. He'd see that.
Tripwire. He would have seen that.
He would have seen it.
He would have dismantled it and kept the C4 for later.
Yeah, and replace it somewhere else.
Yes.
And then when they're having the issue with the plane with Travers, I think they're just trying to. Or they're like, we don't need you, Travers. They were going to shoot him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got all the 50,000 codes or whatever.
Yeah.
And for some reason, John Lithgow kills his own girlfriend.
Yeah, I think it was in an effort to say, like...
I'm the only pilot left, but, like, was that necessary?
Yeah, I don't think... Well, obviously it wasn't necessary, but I think it was like, do whatever you want. Like, I don't care about anybody else but myself.
Just an alpha move?
Yeah, like, I'll murder my own girlfriend. Like, don't act like I won't shoot you in the face.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, I expected more from him.
Yeah. So that stuck out to me. I'm like, wow, he really did kill her. That's
when Travers, the treasure agent, like when it's finally his end of the time, right? So like him and Sly are
the
like
ice scene.
Yeah. Gabe Stallone like falls in the water, right? And he's like under the water for a little while, and then he's like acting like he's trying to kick his way through, and then Travers is like, "Oh, I've got you beat," and he's gonna like shoot him through the ice, but then Stallone has a gun.
Yeah.
And it's been underwater the whole time, and he just fires and shoots through the ice and kills this guy. Like, I was like, do guns, is it going to really fire after it's been underwater like that? I mean, I guess it could get wet. I could see that, but like you'd think like
still
if it was
fire, but I don't know, would it have the same force?
I don't know. But I thought that was interesting.
Where
it
did
was
he get
cool.
the gun? I don't even remember.
He must have taken it off of someone he killed.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool scene though. Like, I mean, it's like the old it's like that like meme video where it's like call the ambulance. Yeah. Call the ambulance, but not for me. Stallone just pulled the 180 and just shot him.
Really, Travers should have just backed up and let him drown. Like,
yeah.
That would be what an awful
smart
way to go, though. Under ice, where you could see out, but you just nothing you could do.
Yeah, but criminals aren't smart.
No. So yeah, that took care of old Travers, who was kind of a shitty bad guy, just kind of fucked up everywhere.
Yeah, like I try to think like what other movies that and shows that guy's been in.
Another guy that he was probably in his 30s there, and he looked really old. Yeah,
looks really old.
Yeah.
He strikes me as a guy who plays a cop-like person or a teacher at all times.
In every movie, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to be like a disgruntled cop who's had it with the job and looking to get out.
Yes. Then, like, the final, like, the end where...
The final showdown.
Yeah, like, so, like, Lithgow has got the chopper. We didn't
talk about the previous kill. The one, the soccer guy.
Oh, yeah.
He was the second to last to die when he was talking about what a great soccer player he was, and he just kept kicking the dude.
He's like, I'm a striker.
Yeah, and just kept pummeling the other guy, that Tucker.
How did he even...
What's his name?
He had a knife, right?
Pulled a knife out of his boot that he took from the old man.
Yeah, yep.
Stabbed him in the leg, I think, and... Yeah.
And then he had a shot. He must have pulled a shotgun off that guy.
Off that guy and shot him.
Yeah. Yep.
But
all the death scenes are really good.
Pretty good death. I will say, pretty creative.
Action,
I didn't see it coming how they were going to do it. But.
Yeah. The end one though, Lithgow is in the chopper. Sly's girlfriend sees the chopper and thinks it's the old guy.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like waving him in, and then it turns it's Lithgow, and they don't show it, but somehow he's like, "Get in the chopper," and she gets in the chopper. Instead of just running, because like he'd have to put the chopper down, and
Yeah, she really didn't. I guess he had a gun on her, maybe. I don't know.
you threw a windshield. Like, what was he gonna do? Like, just I guess you could just start shooting the windshield out. I guess, but so she's in there, and then he radios Stallone, who. Like, how they had radios the whole time, like,
They had
that'd be the first thing I would lose.
the right channel each
Yeah, I just
time.
mean I think you'd lose it. Like, Sly was underwater. Like, he's in a cave. They got blown up. Like, how many radios did he have? But, so he radios him and says, like, yo, I got your girlfriend. And he wants the last bag of cash or whatever. Stallone convinces him to, like, let her go, like, away from him. Mm-hmm. And then Lithgow's got like the wench, like the rope. That's how he let her out. And so then Stallone, he comes back to Stallone, and he just throws the bag of money up into the propeller.
It flies over.
And then Lithgow's like, he's like, I can't believe you just did that. He's pissed. And Stallone grabs the hook from the wench, attaches it to this ladder off the side of a mountain. And then, like, it goes the other way, and the chopper, like, chases him. And then Stallone goes and, like, somehow he jumps off the cliff and grabs onto the ladder that he clipped
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't
the
seem
helicopter to.
I didn't know what he was doing there, but he
And
had
then-
it all planned out, evidently.
Yeah, and then the chopper like,
flips, right?
It flips and hits the side of the cliff. And I was watching this, and I was thinking, every other action movie in the history of time, that helicopter explodes right there, right? I'm like, okay. And then there's a reason for that, because then like
They have a
5
fight
minutes
scene.
later, there's a fight or whatever, and then the chopper falls even further, and then it does like seriously explode.
Yeah.
So little like it's gonna hit the side of a mountain and not explode, but then
Stallone's still just grabbing onto a mountain
one-handed.
one-handed. Grip strength on that guy.
Just impressive.
Incredible.
Just impressive. Just every day he uses one of those little grip strengtheners.
True story. I was watching the movie last night with one of those grip things. I really was. I was thinking, what if I need this someday? I'm hanging off a mountain. Yeah. That is weird.
Just-
That's the movie I was watching.
You're just sitting there like strengthening your grip, like you've got like the chalk on your hands. You've got a bandana like strapped around your head.
Find me climbing my house.
You're shirtless. You're trying to hang from like the ceiling.
I dropped JD. So yeah,
Oh man.
that pretty much ends it. Lithgow blows up.
Yep.
Sad thing is they got no money out of this.
Yeah.
Just all gone in the mountains or
Yep.
burned. And they radio into the good agents, I guess,
Yeah.
to come out and
Yeah, they finally show up.
and him and the guy are friends again at the end, and he's got his girlfriend and
Yep.
happily ever after. But no,
Good
movie.
flick. It really was. Like I don't know why I never watched it when it first came out. I mean, you said it came out in 93?
yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess that's probably why. So, like, 93, probably too young to really get into a movie like that. And then by
I'm
the time
surprised I
it
haven't
was-
watched it more recent though. Like
Yeah.
But
Tell you, trying to find it was a chore.
I had it taped on my YouTube TV and it expired.
Oh, did
so
it? I just searched for it. Like, so we have Fire Sticks, and you search for something, and it'll bring up everything that it's on, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, watch this for free on Tubi or something. I'm like, okay. So I clicked on
Pluto,
it.
yeah.
Pluto, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I click on it, and it just goes, it just brought up some error.
documentary
Well, it brought up an error, so then I just searched for it on it, and then it brought up, some documentary.
called Cliffhanger.
And I was
yeah.
like, oh, this isn't
The true story of Gabe.
isn't the movie.
Funny thing is, I asked Brad, who, by the way, thanks, Brad, for the last episode. I
Yeah,
think people
yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I invited him to come tonight. He couldn't make it, but he said that Cliffhanger is one of his top 5 most watched movies in his life.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just because like it's just some like muscle bound guy who does athletic stuff?
That's why he decided to sculpt his body, start working out because of that. So yeah, he wouldn't need to rewatch it. I guess
He's just seen it so many times. He knows
yeah.
it by heart.
Because he dropped a line about Travers, and I'm like, not real sure what he's talking about. But I was watching the movie, and I'm like, oh, that's Travers.
Yeah, I'd never be able to remember the names of these people.
But yeah, it was an enjoyable one. I mean, like I said, it was corny, but not as corny as some that we've done.
Yeah, I mean, I think
more
it
of
was,
a story.
Yeah, I think it was action they felt was necessary for the plot and the storyline they were telling. And I think, I mean, that's just how action movies are. Even today, the violence and the action is a little gratuitous, but it's a movie. It's not, I guess it's not really meant to be.
Can the name of this episode be Stragglite? Is that the name? Is that how you say it? That's the best part. I've learned that word.
Stalagmite.
What is it?
Yes, okay. It can be. Some fun facts about this movie.
Oh yeah, you always look. Yeah,
oh yeah,
good.
Not a ton of like really cool stuff about it, but all right. So the zip line from plane to plane, that stunt was real. They actually did that.
Was it Stallone or a stunt?
No, it was
I
a
would
stunt
assume
man.
a stuntman.
It holds the Guinness record, and this is like as of even a couple years ago, for the most expensive aerial stunt in a movie.
Really?
Yeah. The stuntman, he himself got paid $1 million.
Whew.
And this is in '93. So that's like $1 billion today.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The insurance companies didn't want to insure it. Stallone took $1 million pay cut to help. I'm assuming to help pay for the insurance.
He's such a stud.
Yeah, but who knows how much? I mean, he's probably making a shitload on it.
Yeah, but still.
The movie, like even though it took place in the Rockies, it was filmed in Italy, most of it.
Okay, I was wondering that.
And which, a little weird, I guess. Like, I guess maybe it was easier to do. I don't know. That stunt was illegal in Europe. Like, I don't know why you'd even have a law for that, but evidently it's something to do with the safety regulations. So they had to do that stunt in America.
I'm surprised Stallone just didn't send more money under the table.
Yeah, they did have to pay. They did have to pay a big chunk of money to somebody in Italy to get access to the mountains.
You wonder why they wouldn't pick somewhere else.
I don't know. It wasn't a ton of money. It was like $45,000 American, $45,000 American. Here's a good one. All right, Lithgow's character, whatever his name was.
Boy, I can't remember the name, but
almost played by Christopher Walken.
He would have been good too.
Christopher Walken backed out for a still unknown reason.
Because John Lithgow threatened him. Yo, he would have been. He's another really good bad guy.
Who knows? Stallone, he did some of his own stunts, but I guess he's not a big fan of heights, so he didn't do all of them. But he did a bunch of training, like realistic training for rock climbing and stuff, right? And I guess like that like roughed his hands up, like made him callous and,
I would imagine,
stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so this irritated the models, plural, that Stallone was dating at the time.
What a fucking stud. I'm sorry. He's my favorite.
He's just training so hard, just fucks his hands up.
He was giving them road rash on their ass when he caressed them.
I guess.
Jesus. What a man.
I just thought it was funny. It was like, it's plural. Like, it's not even a problem. It's more than one. And presumably they were okay with it.
I wish I had numerous models complaining about my hands. What a flex. God.
That one might be a plant by Stallone. Like, so this next one, like, I'm not sure if it was that there was multiple options for the movie they were going to make, or if they were going to do this other movie and then it just got nixed because it was too expensive. But this wasn't even supposed to happen. The Stallone and the director were going to do this other movie instead. But yeah, like it was just too expensive. The other movie was going to be called Gale Force. And it was about an ex-Navy SEAL who was dealing with a band of pirates.
Oh my God.
With an oncoming hurricane.
Can they make this now, please?
That's what I was thinking. Like, how great would this be?
It's pretty much Rambo.
Yeah, it's Rambo at sea.
Yeah, except a Navy
Off
SEAL.
the coast of Somalia.
Oh my God! Why did he not make this too? I'm gonna Sly, if you're listening.
Yes, he's one of our many
I
listeners.
know you're still very busy. Please make this movie.
Speaking of making movies,
Jesus Christ!
possible reboot and or sequel to Cliffhanger.
Today?
That rumor is as of 2023. Stallone has said
Remake.
he's had
You said,
interest.
or
like a reboot or
also he'd be in it again.
Yeah, there was talk of a sequel like back in the 2000s.
So I didn't know if they do like a remake with a
Different
new young
person,
like
maybe.
that.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
but
There was talk of a sequel that would have had Stallone in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. That involved
what else happens on these mountains?
That it involved. It wasn't the mountains. It was at the Hoover Dam.
Is he hanging off the
I
Hoover
don't
Dam?
know. I hope so. It was going to include his character again. So I assume. How great would that be?
Not as good a grip on the Hoover Dam,
No.
I don't think. Oh,
Just him like plugging a hole with the finger and holding it.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I give him a lot of respect. Anything that he puts his mind to, they just make these movies. I mean, like,
Well, and they make a shitload of money.
and yeah, they
Even
all
the
make
terrible ones have made a lot of money.
over the top, which we almost did that one.
Yeah, yeah. But like, even like the Expendables and all the ones those have done, like those have made a shitload of money.
I really enjoyed the first Expendables. They got a little ridiculous. I mean, the first was ridiculous too, but they got really ridiculous. Oh, I love breaking down those movies.
It was a good movie.
Yeah,
It was a chore to try and like
make fun
find
of it.
things. Yeah, there's not a lot to make fun of. I mean, yes, there's some stuff that they overdo and over embellish, but I think that is what it is.
Uh-huh.
You know what's really, I think what part of the thing that's really great about going back and watching some of these movies from back then, there's no like hidden meaning behind it.
No,
it's
there's
just an entertaining story.
There's no backhanded virtue signaling.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
I know. It's just violence and action.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Yes. No,
No, I
it was a
hear
great
you.
movie. Loved it. I am really disappointed in myself that I haven't watched it more.
Same here. I'm shocked I haven't.
Like, I've seen the opening scene of it, but I don't know that I've watched the whole movie.
Like, I've seen the opening scene of the Ace Ventura more than that one. I mean,
Yeah.
That's why I didn't really piece it together. So.
And that could be why I think I've seen the opening scene.
We'll keep doing these until football gets going, at least.
Yeah, and
I do think we need to do the Human Centipede.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That was
one.
our fan request, and we'll do
We
that.
got that. We did get that as a request.
We should do
in the
that
fan
one
mail,
next.
so we should do that one.
That will be.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that one next.
That one I think will be easy to make fun of, if I remember